Hello everyone and welcome to your second royal reading today, a Sunday, here at MadWorldTarot. I still have the Shadowland Tarot on the tarot table. I'm looking at lies, Harry-related lies. So we need to put the allegedly sign on right away. For this reading, we need to remind you that this is just tarot for fun and entertainment. It is all my opinion, all my speculation. Just read energy and disclaimer in the box below. And the lies, the alleged lies that I'm looking at have to do with Harry's recent trip to Toronto. The trip that clashed directly with Prince William's trip to Brazil for his Earthshot awards and of course COP30 as well. And Harry claimed at the time, or his people did, that the palace had been briefed in advance of his trip as a matter of courtesy. They'd been told, they'd been warned that he was going. The palace has clapped back and said, oh no, we won't. Nobody got that memo. And this is coming from Kate Mansi, who's very much a palace voice, writing in the Times. Kate Mansi says, no, nobody got the memo at the palace. And they learnt about the trip to Toronto at exactly the same time as the press was briefed about the trip to Toronto. And according to Kate Mansi, when Harry's office was approached and asked about it, who actually briefed the palace, where is this memo, when was the memo sent, came no reply. So it's looking rather like Harry's people, let's phrase it like that, lied to the palace. It's looking like they might also have lied to the Canadians and made it seem as if these events were sanctioned by the palace when in fact they were not. It was one of those 4 royal tours, those rogue tours that Harry and Meghan were doing last year. We're going to have a look at all of this. We would like to know about the lies. We would like to know whose clever idea it was to do this, and we would like to know how they feel about the fact that the palace clapped back so quickly. No more never complain, never explain. It's now, oh, recollections may vary. It's now, oh no, that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. I would like to know if this is going to be the Sussex modus operandi from now on, because they are already threatening a tour to Australia in 2026 at exactly the same time. Well, it's speculated at exactly the same time as the Wales family might be making an official royal tour to Australia with the kids. And so it's looking like it's an ongoing problem. We're going to ask what the palace might do to shut Harry and Meghan down. They really just can't restrain themselves at this point. They really have gone rogue, in my opinion. We have already said our disclaimer, so let's get to the actual reading, see what's going on. Did they lie to the palace, or did Harry or Harry's people lie to the palace, their feelings? Did they lie to the Canadians, their feelings, if there were misrepresentations about the nature of the events and who had sanctioned them? Whose idea? Feelings about the palace actually pushing back and saying, no, that's not what happened, and future what's going to go on. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the Ace of Cups. This is a new idea, a fresh take on things. Aces as our underlying energy. This is interesting because, first of all, it's telling me that this is part of Harry's attempted reconciliation with the royals, which went on for the best part of a year. It started at some point in the second half of last year. We started to get this messaging that Harry was going to be back as a half-in, half-out working royal. It escalated mid this year, and then it got shut down. And it got shut down brutally after Harry had his tea party with Pa, and then went running to the Guardian newspaper and had things to say. And it shut down, and we haven't seen Harry back in the UK since. We were promised things like Children in Need, the BBC thing. We were promised Remembrance Day events. There was Pa's birthday last week. No sign of the has-been. Has-been was partying with the Kardashians. So something got shut down. This for me is that reconciliation narrative, and it was he was going to share his diary with the royals, and then he was available to help because of course they were man down and needed him, and he was the most popular and the best at royaling and blah blah blah. That is that. That is that. Ace of Cups. So no mystery there really. Situation we're dealing with, actually we're dealing with a star in reverse. So that Ace of Cups, which is the energy that sits under all of these cards, has already been cancelled by the star in reverse because it's giving up hope, abandon hope energy, very much so. He thought that he was onto a sure thing, but it's failed. It failed due to his own stupidity and his own inability to read the room and realize what damage he had done and what level of groveling was required in order for him to get back in at any level, let alone as a half in, half out working royal, a representative of the royal family in Canada. Star in reverse. Lost hope, lost faith, lost trust, lost purpose, failed. The big star of the royal family now in terminal decline. It's reading really heavily, that star in reverse for me as an energy reader, I just got to say. So let's look at lies, possible lies to the palace. Was this all a big fat lie? That the palace was given advance warning. They were briefed in advance as a courtesy. Really? Let's ask about that. Eight of Pentacles is working on something, and this is working on him getting back in as a working royal. It's not coming across as deceptive, as intentionally dishonest. What it's telling me though, sitting on top of that Ace of Cups, is this is the narrative that was being sold to people, that Harry is making this big gesture and he's going to prove it by going off and doing these events, and it was supposed to be the finest hour of royaling that ever a royal royaled, and then it all got caught up in that Hatgate nonsense with him having worn the Dodgers cap to the game in LA before his visit to Toronto, and that great fiasco. But the intention that I'm getting was to prove to them what a good working royal he could be. So it doesn't come across for me as intentional lying. It's kind of ex post facto. See what a good royal I was, and then no one would ask questions about whether anyone was told. I'm just going to pop up as a working royal, and I'm going to be so brilliant at it that you're all just going to say, oh, thank God he's back, and clap hands and hooray, and wheel out the gold carriage for him to process down whatever avenue or whatever in London. I don't know. That's how it's reading for me. What did the palace think of this little stunt? I'm getting that it was a stunt. Page of Cups, they see it as that. They see it as immature. They see it as, from Harry's point of view, probably he meant well. It could be interpreted that way with the Page of Cups, but childish, silly, infantile. And then, of course, we all know what happened, as I've already referenced. The old Hatgate saga did not go well. It's like a child who decides that they're going to cook you dinner when you're out and you come back and the house is in flames. It's that kind of vibe. They meant well, but oh dear. That's the vibe that I'm getting from that situation with the royals. I'm not getting intentional deception there. How about the Canadians? Were they spun a tale as well with this whole situation? Ooh, Two of Cups in reverse. It does look like it. It does with that Two of Cups in reverse, that they might have thought that Harry was a partner, because twos are about partners, and the Two of Cups is an emotional connection. That here comes someone who's connected, who's possibly reconciling with the royal family, only to discover that no, not, because it's in reverse. So I think that they went through the Ace of Cups thing, and then they had actually, no, he's just here on his own little frolic, and we have no, the royals had no idea. He's not representing them. He's just a mad person wearing the wrong cap and covering his bald head, basically. How did they feel about all of this? Again, I'm not getting active deception in this reading. I need to keep saying that for legal reasons. How did they feel, Canadians? The world in reverse. The end. We don't want this anymore. Stop using us for publicity, which would be the world, to try and show that you're a success, that you are the hero of the moment, of the hour. You are not. You are a failure. You are a loser. And stop it. Stop trying to use us, exploit us for your own advancement. It's coming through very forcefully, interestingly, and it's a major arcana. They're fed up. They really are fed up that they've been exploited, allegedly, for Harry's own publicity purposes. They don't like it at all, and it's not going to happen again. If Harry had thoughts that he was going to sidle along and insert himself into charities in Canada, perhaps half in, half out of Canada, the Prince of Canada, not going to happen. They are done with him in a very negative way. They really want to end their connection with him. Does not bode well for him. So, whose clever idea was it to just pull this stunt and then claim afterwards that everyone had been told? Or when it was too late to undo it? Or whose clever idea was it? We get the Judgment card, which is called Discretion here in this particular tarot, which is, of course, the Shadowland tarot. It's the Judgment card, though, really. I'm guessing when we've got those red shoes sailing along, there's quite large red shoes that we know whose red shoes those are, don't we? We've seen the red shoes there in that card there, just saying, and we saw the red shoes in the previous readings using the same tarot deck. So, of course, the old wise owl there, whip smart, I think she's described herself as, or her PR described her as, when she first showed up and she was going to radically transform the royals and modernize them and remake them in her own image, and she was going to be crowned the queen of the known world, universe, multiverse, whatever. Big mistake, because the card is in reverse. Bad idea, bad decision, judged very harshly. Wrong. Major arcana, big mistake. But in my opinion, Madame's clever idea, Madame didn't read the room. Feelings when the palace clapped back so savagely through Kate Mansi of the Times. And Kate Mansi, I think, has previously written quite favourably about Harry and Meghan. I think I could be mistaken about that, but I do think she has been quite favourable. Page of Swords in reverse, that clapback energy. It's a classic clapback card. It's a communication card, the Page of Swords, but it's harsh because it's swords. It's cruel, it's cold, it's calculated, it's very strategic, the Page of Swords. It's brutal, it's ruthless when it's in reverse. It's really unexpected criticism that would be very hard to take, very hard coming from the source it came from, particularly. Did not go down well, not at all. So is this the new modus operandi for the Parkles, or the, what do people call them now? The Kardashians or something. They've got a new name that combines the Markles and the Kardashians. I can't remember how it goes now. But is this what they're going to do now? Is this the way they're going to behave from now on? Just pop up as if they're representing the royal family. God, the Nine of Pentacles is independent energy, going it alone energy. It looks like they are going to just wing it in future and just show up and just do whatever, sort of pop-up events where you least expect it. That's the plan. We're going to go rogue, we're going to go on our own, because it is independent energy. The Nine of Pentacles is not needing a support system around, or it's not a team player, because it's a self-made energy. The the very wealthy, very comfortably off kind of energy that you don't need to still work. Harry was presenting himself as working royal here, and this is one up from that. It's, I don't need to pretend I'm working royal. I'll just jolly well show up and do whatever I like. And that's particularly her energy, not his. Which, drum roll, it sounds a bit sinister for the royals, if that's her thinking of she's just going to go ahead and do whatever the hell she wants now. What are the palace proposing to do? What is the palace? That's a better word. What is the palace proposing to do about this, if anything? Some idea of stopping this from happening again. What are they going to do? We've got the Ten of Pentacles. I'm getting from that card that they're going to pull rank, and that quite literally could pull rank. They could pull titles with that Ten of Pentacles and say, you don't represent us. That's for me is Commonwealth energy, that Ten of Pentacles, interestingly. And some people have been commenting and saying they did previously say when the Parkle set off to Nigeria, when she discovered she was 43% Nigerian, she seems to have forgotten that since, subsequently. But there was a message sent out to the Nigerian government that Harry and Meghan were not representing the British monarchy or the British government. It was sent formally. They were notified. As far as I can recall, if I've misremembered that, well then Meghan too has misremembered some quite important things in her time. So it seems to me that the message is going to go out to Commonwealth countries, to governments, to embassies, to things like that. Harry and Meghan do not represent us. Meghan Markle does not represent us. When she calls herself Duchess of Sussex, she's no more Duchess of Sussex than that MadWorld Tarot reader is Duchess of Tarot. It's not us. They don't represent us. And Harry and Meghan might find themselves blocked with that. There are eyes in that tree, and those eyes are watching. We've got the heads up about Australia, and I think Australia is being alerted to block them at some level. I do think titles are going to go as the minute that the person who wants to take the titles is in the position to take the titles. But in the meantime, it looks like the royals and the government are going to use all their influence, maybe not very well supported by the government. Let's take that down a bit, that energy, but the royals themselves are going to send the message out across, I won't say the empire, but across the world. Harry and Meghan do not represent us. The Canadians have had a taste of that, and this is to prevent others from having a similar experience of really feeling at the end of it all that they've been exploited by someone whose star is falling. That's your reading. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow.